don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
What the fuck? That hurt my legs more than I expected. Ah. Alright, so on the climb so far, we've been having a little trouble with Garchomps. Alright, they've been annoying. They've been rock sliding. Zod just can't take those. But it's okay, because I have found the answer.
I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love.
Okay, game one, we've got a Sun Mirror. It's similar to our team, but it's not completely the same. The main thing I want to be looking out for here is that dog. Okay, so I was hoping to see them lead the Arcanine, which they do not, but that's absolutely fine. Our lead should be fine in this scenario as well, though I was hoping to see Arcanine, obviously. Or at least, it would have been fine if I didn't allow Tailwind to go up. We've had a look, and the math says Sneasel had a 70% chance of surviving Heatwave from Charizard, which, you know, also, he didn't even click that, so in reality, we had a pretty much 100% chance of surviving, because he was going to protect. So, we really should have just fake out Dire Clawed, you know, that Cotton Ball, and made sure there was no chance of a Tailwind going up. Would have set us up a lot better for the rest of the game. Sadly, this has cost me my Sneasler, and he hasn't even achieved anything for me this game. But we managed to tank some hits. Incineroar just brushing them off for us, which is wonderful. And we obliterate what's left of their lead, so kind of turning it around. And now they send out the dogs. They come out swinging and they take out our Dragon Boy, leaving us with our real dragon and a cat. 2v2, still doable. Then comes a nice easy turn. We just hit him with a little chip damage. Easy as. And then we hit a little depressing moment. We've since run the maths on this one as well, and unfortunately, if my parting shot had been on Sylveon instead of Arcanine, we live these, and we probably get to win. We also reverse engineered a couple other ways. I messed that last bit up, but I think the parting shot was probably the most critical. Long story short, we threw twice, once at the start, and once at the end. Oh well. Moving on. Game 2, and it's another Sun team. Boy, do we love the Sun here in Ultra Ball. This time, though, there's a twist. They just go with the absolute standard lead, which I haven't seen in a while, so that's fun. So, using my forbidden knowledge, I am aware that Basculegion's Wave Crash can one-hit KO Charizard, even in the Sun. So the only goal here in turn 1 really is just to not get put to sleep. Hence, we rip Fake Out into Venusaur. He hits a Protect. We Fake Out Venusaur. Not a lot happens. But we didn't fall asleep. So the main objective was achieved. And we also got Venusaur's Sash. They always run Sash. Now, Venusaur had two options here. He could try and sleep powder my Basculegion, or he could run away from his impending doomed Flare Blitz. He chooses to run away, which makes me very happy. So, remember what I said 30 seconds ago? Having served his Afterlife's purpose, Basculegion is now just chipping away what little damage he can before he eats it. and makes room for our very own land shark to enter the stage. Also, Insin was there this turn. Sadly, the next turn, shark on shark violence claims an innocent bystander's life. Coming into the next turn, I'm aware that there's only one turn left of Harsh Sunlight, which is giving Venusaur double speed. So I take advantage of that, I double protect, I Mega Evolve into Charizard. This way I will not be refreshing the sun, and we'll be able to deal with the Venusaur next turn with a huge speed advantage, leaving a 2v1 against Rotom as the only last hurdle to clear. And lastly, we clean up the Venusaur. We make it into a 2v1 endgame against the Rotom. However, they do find ways to make it a very, very, very drawn out endgame. We do get the dub though. Alright, it's a sand team. We don't like seeing sand teams here. But I do have a bit of a plan. I reckon we lead Basculegion, we lead Sneasler, we've got Close Combat, we've got Wave Crash. Excadrill down, Tyranitar down. We check for both of them. And if they don't lead those two, we have Flip Turn and Rock Slide. So I hope the lead's safe. We can clear a nice path for Charizard to come in afterwards and do what Charizard does best, spam Heat Wave, win us the game, override Sand. That's the general game plan. I think a lead like that has a lot more potential than just throwing out Zard Venusaur and praying that they don't lead Tyranitar Excadrill. I think this is the only way to really cover us for a worst case scenario. But, seeing as I'm currently staring down a Dragonite, it would appear they've read what I was hoping for, and have gone with a slight switch up of their own. I attempt to make a pivot, but a Thunder Punch from Dragonite that I wasn't really expecting takes way too much damage off my Basculegion. And they get Tailwind. So it's not looking great so far, even though we do manage to pick up the Whimsicott here. Excadrill, fresh on the field, hits me with a devastating Earthquake, stopping me from taking it out clean with Close Combat. We do manage to get the Dragonite, narrowly avoiding losing my own Garchomp in the process though. We now find ourselves in a 3v2 scenario. But they have full health bars, plenty of OHKO options for my Charizard, and my other two boys, I mean, they're not sitting pretty healthy right now. Seeing that they still have 2 turns of Tailwind left, I come up with a plan. I think it's the only way I could possibly win here, and it starts with me having to hit double protect. Alright, we've come all this way, and all that stands between me and Masterball is a single 33% odd protect. We can hit it. We will get the promos. Okay. Here comes the stressful part of all of this. But oh well. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. Alright, good evening sports fans. We have a big final card for you today. Joti on his potential promotion to Masterball versus Trainer. Appy, what are we thinking about this lead?
Very interesting lead. Both players are playing some form of Sun team, but it is interesting not to see a Sun start. It does feel like the opponent is trying to counter a potential Sun lead from Joti.
Yes, and with this Milotic as well, it looks like they're also trying to cover for the potential of a Garchomp lead. The Milotic a very interesting pick for the build. I think it specifically can come up very big in the mirror match. Looks like
we do
they
see a double protect.
Yeah, looking like they're probably worried about the fake outs that we could have potentially used on them.
I think in this scenario, I would have pivoted either Milotic or Venusaur into another Mon. A fake out would not have done much.
Yeah, interestingly, in Champions as well, fake out does still trigger, even if you didn't try and use a move, whereas I believe in previous generations, you would not even get the damage, correct? Or
I believe that is so.
Yeah, so it's slightly better than it would have been in the past, though still not particularly punishing. We do get the close combat off here, triggering the White Herb and secretly triggering the Unburden. So this Sneasel will now be outspeeding practically anything it comes up against in the rest of its battle.
Incineroar does go down, but it does feel like he has done his purpose. There's not much of the team that he could have dealt with that the others could not have dealt with.
Yeah, sadly, he didn't really get a lot done, but he did take a hit for our Sneasler, which does feel kind of big in and of itself. Even just to be a sort of padding hit while we get through to a better position later. So I think the Zard here is going to have to go for a Protect, and we do see a Protect. Sneasler very commonly running Rock Slide at the moment. So, and as we know, a Rock Slide onto any Charizard is going to practically beat Charizard every time, unless you can get some significant stat reductions.
That being said, the Milotic does go down, which means this Charizard has much less to fear, and so does the Garchomp. Speaking of Garchomp,
yeah, they've brought theirs in, which is going to be pressuring our own Charizard now, because obviously we just saw the devastating power of Rock Slide, and that is now what we are facing down on the opposing side of the field. Now, them continuing to not Mega Evolve their Charizard is very interesting here, because if that Protect had gone through that they'd attempted, they would still be taking additional damage from Solar Power, so it seems like a very odd choice to have not just hit the button anyway. Though perhaps they had some kind of long-term game plan for re-triggering Harsh Sunlight.
While that might be true, surely they could just pivot out their Megazord.
You would
Protect it,
assume.
pivot it out.
You would assume that is the much easier play. But I can't really think of much other reason to be delaying it. So we see the Rock Slide coming in, and we do get an Earthquake from the opposing Garchomp. Clearly they're fearing Sneasler in this position more than they are fearing the Charizard Y, which I do think is interesting. I don't know that I would have played it the same. And we see that the Heat Wave coming in does an actual considerable amount despite being resisted. Just showing the power of Harsh Sunlight and, you know, Megazord Y.
Had I been the opponent, I definitely would have dealt with this Charizard. This Charizard is doing so much damage, especially compared to the Sneasler. The only spread move he has is Rock Slide, which both of these mons would have taken.
Yeah, and locking in for a double in on the Garchomp as well. They're clearly far more worried about our partner mons than they are the Charizard. I think they're under the assumption that they can just get us down to a point where a Rock Slide will win them the game, but I just don't think they were looking at the absolute raw damage coming out from this Heat Wave, as it didn't even require our Garchomp's moves to take it down, though we do successfully get an Earthquake off as the Haban Berry completely and utterly destroys the Dragon Claw damage coming in from the opponent's Garchomp, allowing us to effectively double into the Venusaur and get the pickup through the Focus Sash. And so there we go. That's the rank up. That's Master Ball for us. Now, as of the moment of recording, this does not have any higher ranks than Master Ball 4. So this is currently the highest rank you can achieve, which is very cool. Alright guys, thank you for watching the second video in the road to the Global Challenge. Huge milestone hit today, Master Ball. Very proud of that, very happy of that. The first major one we've hit so far, and I'm glad to have hit it within the first week. Feels great. Next week, we're going to be focusing on getting a bit nerdy with it. Sand teams, they've been kicking my ass, alright? Strategies for dealing with it. And we'll just do some really dedicated sessions on beating them. Maybe even in Pokemon Showdown, who knows? But, you know, tune in next week to find out. Shout out to the haters. Hope you enjoyed, baby.